In this video, we're going to unravel the persistent question of what do I do first? I'm sure you've had the experience of looking at your to-do list and feeling confused, just baffled, because there's so many different things that you could be doing. Where do I start? How do I decide what to do first? Now, there are literally dozens, if not hundreds of ways you could make that decision. But I'm going to teach you a strategy that comes straight from the vision and direction element of the Freedom Evolution method that can help you make that decision easier, not just for today, but for weeks, possibly even this whole season. Now, many exhausted entrepreneurs approach this question by diving into their email inbox and seeing who needs something from them. And then they spend the next 20, 30 minutes or even a couple of hours trying to respond to all of their email messages. In other words, not doing any of the tasks on their actual to-do list at all, but rather doing all the new tasks that people are asking for. Or the other common approach is to look at your list and start tackling whatever feels most urgent, most on fire, something that has pressing consequences, but that may or may not be important for moving your business forward. When you choose either of these strategies, the result is that you end up delaying action on the important, highly valuable projects on your list. You know, those projects that might actually move the needle on your business or in your life. As Covey would say, you're filling your day with sand and water rather than big rocks. Now, part of the reason this happens is because rarely do many entrepreneurs pause and take the time to get clear about what truly is most important. What is your top priority project right now that deserves as much attention and time as you're capable of giving it? When you know the answer to that question, you have a much better shot at prioritizing your focus and actions on that project each day. So, let's give you some clear steps that can help you put this into action. Step number 1, create your vision. Specifically, what do you want to create in your life? That is the essential question. If you don't know the answer to that question, then you might spend years spinning wheels and getting nowhere. Let me put it in terms that a traveler, a fellow location-independent entrepreneur like yourself might understand. This step is about deciding your destination. If you don't know where you're going, then you will likely spend a lot of time wandering around. You have to make the decision. I want to spend the next 3 months in New Zealand. When you make that decision, then you can start taking the specific next steps that will get you there rather than ending up in Zimbabwe. Now, creating a vision for what we want in our lives can be just as exciting and empowering as deciding where we next want to travel to. And in the vision and direction element of the Freedom Evolution method, we walk you through specific exercises and path-working visualization journeys that help you start turning some, vague ideas into powerfully compelling visions for your future. Bottom line, if you skip this vision creation step, you're always going to feel a little bit like you're wandering or drifting around in your life. Step number 2, define your priority. Once you know where you're heading, then you can start defining the plan that's capable of getting you there. It's just like planning that trip to New Zealand. Are you flying? Are you taking a cruise ship? Are you sailing a sailboat? If it's a group of islands, you're probably not going to drive or take a bus or train. Those are probably off the table. You'll need to figure out about the visa options and requirements, accommodations, ground transportation once you arrive. Those are all the moving parts of planning a trip to New Zealand, right? Same thing applies for turning your life vision into a plan. Once you've created your vision, then you need to turn that vision into specific milestone projects. What would need to happen for that vision to become your reality? Now, it's likely there are a bunch of different big pieces or projects required. So define them, brainstorm them, collect them all, get all of those project options together, just like we did with our New Zealand trip plan. What are your transportation methods? What reservations or plans are going to need to be made? Let me give you a business example. Let's say you want to write a book. So you'll need a publication plan. Are you going to self-publish, or are you going to find an agent and a mainstream publisher? If you're going that direction, you'll probably need to create a book proposal. Then you'll need an outline, a first draft, an editor to help you revise, a cover designed, you'll need a marketing plan, and so much more. Now, all of these are examples of milestones on the road to publishing a book. How do I know? Because I had to do and decide about all of these pieces when I wrote my book, Inspired Action. Now, obviously, with a project like this, there's a logical sequence. There are steps that come first and others that follow. So the goal is to identify what the specific next step for the project in your vision would be. But there are also situations when there isn't a logical sequence, when there's a range of possible strategies you could use to get to your vision. So here's the secret. Choose one and commit to it for at least one full season. That's 3 or 4 months minimum. Depending on the project or the strategy, you might need to commit to it for 2 full seasons, so 6+ months, in order to give it a real chance of making an impact. Think of it this way. Imagine if you're sitting in your house and someone hands you 3 sets of keys to 3 different cars outside. There's a 4x4 truck, a race car, and a very comfortable middle-of-the-road sedan. Now, if your goal is to get to your destination 100 miles away, then you could either hop in the first car, drive it a few hundred yards, pull over, run back, get into the next car, drive it up a few hundred yards to meet the first one, then get out, run back, and repeat again with a third car. Now, how much longer do you think it's going to take to get to your destination if you approach the journey like that? A heck of a lot longer, isn't it? Because rather than just choosing a vehicle and seeing how far you can get with it, you're constantly running around back and forth to make sure you're taking care of all 3 cars. Not a particularly effective way to get to your destination, is it? You need to make a decision. Choose your vehicle. See how far you can get with it. I call this project your seasonal priority. That's the one project that's most important to work on consistently right now. It's your big rock that you're sprinkling all the sand and water activities around. Finally, step number 3. Focus on your priority daily. This is where the rubber meets the road. If you're looking at your list trying to decide what to do, then as often as possible, the answer should be whatever the next step on that priority project is. Imagine if you actually made the steps for that project your top priority every day. How much faster do you think you'd get that project done? How much more confident and focused do you think you'd feel if you knew every single day what was most important for you to do first? What do you think your life would look like, would feel like, if you consistently got what was most important to you done every single day? It could be life-changing, huh? Now, if you take these 3 steps, you will create so much more clarity in your life about what's most important. You can build a business that feels more meaningful and aligned with the future that you want to create. But, as we all know, the rest of the tasks on your plate don't just go away because you know which ones should be most important. So even if you do this priority and vision work, many exhausted entrepreneurs fall back into that old pattern of just zooming around, getting lost in their email inbox, rushing to put out fires, because they never develop the systems and strategies to stay focused each and every day on what's important to them. And if that's happened to you in the past, then this problem probably feels familiar, doesn't it? That's why you'll need better systems and strategies to manage the tasks that flow through your world every single day. You need to be able to consistently create a daily plan and execute it so that you can show up for your business like a visionary CEO, feeling focused and empowered to get what's most important done while not thoughtlessly neglecting all the other tasks that are currently on your plate. That's why you'll want to grab a copy of the 5-Minute Daily Plan Guide, which walks you through an easy system I teach in the Freedom Evolution method to ensure that you start and end every day feeling productive and awesome. Now, if this video has been powerful for you, please comment below, like and share it with others. Let's help even more passionate, location-independent entrepreneurs stop simply wandering through life and start exploring intentionally in both their lives and their businesses. Because we know the value of living with intention, don't we, Freedom Lover? Let's get started.